Treck, welcome to our live stream. And I'm going to hold on for a little while until others join us. Let me check who is online and let me do a bit of housekeeping to get this stream started. What's happening here? Okay, let's tile these windows and we're done. All set for the day. Hey Joe, how are you? Welcome to the live stream. Thanks for joining and making sure that I'm not talking to myself here. So thanks a lot. It's been a beautiful day today. So much of green in the market. Everything is looking good. Yeah, we have someone else also here. Who else is online? Let us see. So, while everybody joins us, let us get started with what's happening out here. I'd like to start off by talking about a few things that I have observed. So I'm just going to expand myself a little bit here so that you can see me better. So the sorry about that. The points that I wanted to talk about today were that the Fed increased the interest rate by 75 basis point as expected. I think Inf was right on the target when he made a comment that the increase will be 75 basis point and then it will start going down after that. So I've just awarded the Share Treck Award to Inf, the very first one, inaugural award. So I think he has done the right call. I was hoping for a 50 basis point hike, but I was mistaken because in my opinion, I think that people are focusing more on the interest rate, but in the background, the Fed is also cutting a lot of bond purchases and it's also cutting a lot of mortgage-backed security renewal. So all those things are likely to tighten the market more than we think. So that's why I made that video which said the Fed is possibly more aggressive than you think. So that's where I was coming from, but I'm glad that Inf got it right. So with that said, I'd also like to say that as the markets already anticipated the move, it did not cause any adverse action. In fact, there was a relief in some quarters. However, I am heartened that the Fed has now hinted at slower hikes. Actually, I think Chairman Powell made that statement, and his turning dovish has definitely had a positive effect on the market. As you can see, everything has gone green. It's also very heartening and very striking to note that Google put on 7% and Microsoft put on 6.72% today. The share price, these are a handsome increase in share price, which shows that people were having a knee-jerk reaction yesterday. And as I mentioned yesterday, I thought Google had done a good job considering the market condition and their ad revenue is well diversified. I've also checked out UPS and they also have recovered most of their losses. They're up almost close to 1% today. So I think forward-looking opinion would be that the peak inflation has happened and next month we should see reducing inflation. And that's what is implied by the Fed saying that going forward, they are going to reduce the interest rates. Hi, Jesse, welcome. I just saw that you have joined. Thanks for joining. So that would account for the bullishness that we are seeing in the market. Apple is up almost 3% in anticipation of its results due tomorrow. So Apple will also be impacted by the strong US dollar. We have to keep that in mind. So I think that the psychological forces that operated on Google and Microsoft is going to be opposite for Apple, because at that time, people had expected for the worst, but it came out well. But now after seeing Google and Microsoft results, people will start anticipating that the strong US dollar would have an impact on Apple, because Apple has got international sales. So I'm thinking that if you look at the US dollar index, it had dropped in the last 2 weeks. So that gives comfort forward looking for Apple. But in the past, the US dollar index had been high. So that effect will be felt in the current earnings result. So we'll have to see how the market reacts. But I think it's going to react favorably and positively. There'll be no knee-jerk reaction on Apple, in my opinion, like it happened for Google and Microsoft. So both Google and Microsoft also reported a strong dollar impacting their international revenue. So that's the basis on which I'm making these statements. So Jesse is saying, selling the RIP today, bought Tesla at 7 cents and sold at 8. Oh, good job. Every little bit helps. Yeah, you can pad up the PACB, right? The missus will be looking at your balance sheet at the end of the year. So this is a good chance to save your hide. Yeah, the market will see red. It will always have a plus and minus, but in the end, long-term investors will always gain. So you're right, Jesse, about that. So with a risk-on approach in play in the market, I think most genomic shares are jumping up with DNA. If you look at the genomic side, let me quickly show you the genomic side. Hey, Inf, welcome to the party. So I'm going into the genomic sector out here, and just to show you, if I sort, DNA is on the very top. If you recollect, DNA was the most beaten down stock that we had in our watch list, and it has gained 7%. Right? So the risk-on approach is back in the market, and we have seen that with the DNA stock also jumping up almost 6.5%. I think I should take some time to play the volatility in these cheap stocks, and just like Jesse made some profits, I think it's high time for me to do a little bit of those scalping. Another shot in the arm is the news that Senate has passed the bill to promote US competitiveness in chip manufacture. This package includes around $52 billion for US companies producing computer chips, as well as a tax credit for investment in chip manufacturing. This is a critical step because we have learned the lessons from the Russia-Ukraine conflict, and potentially this mitigates a China-Taiwan misadventure, but it's still touch and go. We have to have all these investments happening, and the companies have got to put everything in place. ASML will have to play a big role in this also. And overall, I think we'll see a better outcome. Hopefully, China doesn't invade Taiwan or anything very soon, so that all these production capacities can come into place. So with that said, I think I also saw somewhere that Spotify earnings showed that paid subscriber growth has happened. So that's really positive. Spotify also has jumped. I think this could lead to a similar outlook for streaming services going forward. However, the intense competition that we see in the streaming services and the higher cost for production is going to be a matter of concern. That's where I think Disney has got a strong suit, because they have a whole catalog of their own titles, and they have a lot of intellectual property that they own, which can come up with a lot of more superhero and those Star Wars kind of movies. So I think those things are all also going to come into play. So Netflix will have to really work for its bread, and the competition being severe, I don't think any of those platforms are going to gain the way that Spotify has done, because that's a different category altogether. So that's what I have to think about. And I just want to have a quick look at what our friends are saying. So Infest joined. Spicy time, yeah. No takers for you, Jesse, for PACB. I think it should happen tomorrow, hopefully. Not only do you need takers, but also you need a good strike price with a good margin, right? That's the qualification. That's why you don't have takers. There might be people trying to get it cheap, but yeah. In sale rally in the SP5 and NASDAQ, though, and everything. Yes, it's doing very well out here. We are at 339. So I had gone through my talking points out there, which I wanted to share with you guys. I'll just show you some of the press releases that I wanted to talk to you about. I'm going to just minimize my size. I don't want to hog the screen. This is just about the right size, I think. Yeah. So we are doing very well, Inf. We are doing absolutely well. Spotify pops on revenue beat is the headline out here. And it says Spotify has continued to invest in its advertising, and ad-supported revenue grew 31% year over year to 360 million euros, reaching an all-time high of 13% of the total revenue for the year. Spotify reported 433 million monthly active users in its second quarter, up 19% year over year, and 5 million above guidance. 5 million above guidance, that's a very decent number. Paid subscriber growth also bet guidance by 1 million users, growing 14% year over year to 188 million. So when you compare the growth, 14% on 188 million, that seems to be a big number out there for paid subscriber. That makes me feel that we may not be as recessive as we thought we were, because people have discretionary spending going on out here. So that is good news. The other item I spoke about was Dow jumping 375 points. Nasdaq jumps more than 3% as Powell says Fed could slow pace of rate hikes. This is the benign Fed that I was talking about. And if you got everything right on bang on spot with regard to the 75 basis point hike and going slow further, so you have been awarded the Treck award, the inaugural Treck award. So that's my award to you. And out here we can see that it says, as the stance of monetary policy tightens further, it likely will become appropriate to slow the pace of increases while we assess how our cumulative policy adjustments are affecting the economy and inflation. So Fed Powell is being very careful, and hopefully oil keeps going down. And also I've heard in news reports that the average freight cost is going down. That also feeds into inflation. So inflation is going to reduce because in the supply chain, one of the cost items is going down. Oil going down also helps in the freight costs. So overall, I think we are all going in the right direction. We just need we just need companies to make sure that they pass on the benefits. In UK, many retailers are not passing on the benefits of gas price cut to their clients. I hope that doesn't happen here in the US, because if that does happen, then it will be really detrimental for the economy, and it will make it difficult for the Fed as well as the Biden administration to maintain optimism in the economy. And it will make them do much more interest rate hikes, and people will suffer unnecessarily. That's my opinion. And what else do we have here? So, okay, apart from that, China competitiveness bill. Senate passes bill to boost U.S. chip production and China competition, sending to House. So we need the House to pass this. I hope of course, the House has got the majority out there, a slim majority for the Democrats. So it will definitely pass, in my opinion. And this will be a shot in the arm at the right time. It has passed at 64-33 votes. So that's a pretty good majority. And the package includes more than $52 billion for US companies producing computer chips. The money is there now, but people have to put all the infrastructure in place and get it going and do effective project management to make sure there are no delays. Because if China does do any misadventure on Taiwan, then it's going to hit the market big time if the chip production facilities are not in place. It will hit many companies, including automobile companies, fridge manufacturers, everybody. Finally, we have the main news item. We already spoken about this. So that's what we have here. So what does our community say here? Greedy UK retailers. Yeah. Avneet, are you based in UK? Yeah, Avneet is here. Yeah, Jesse is also here. So we have our regular group plus some new people also joining us up here. Yeah, this is good. We are starting to pick up the numbers out here, and that's really good. I think I would like to just quickly look at the TradingView platform and see what is the action happening in the established tech area. Especially, I'm curious whether Microsoft and Google have retained their gains. Yeah, they're still up 6.8. Look at the candle. It just jumped above the 50-day exponential moving average. Just went zoop all the way up, very close to the 100-day exponential. Look at Google. Again, another solid candle. It's just negotiating the 50-day exponential moving average right now. And there is plenty of room for the momentum to go up. So Google, I think, is going to pick up a lot. And if you look at Apple, there are no earnings jitters. People are really confident. They're just moving ahead 3.58% up for Apple after 3 straight days of dropping prices. And we are gone above the 200-day exponential moving average. So that's absolutely good for us. So with that said, I think let me check and see. So Avneet says here, people only buy real estate and energy stocks. Our biggest tech stock lost 89% in 6 months. Where are you located, Avneet? Oh, you're in fake UK. That is Canada. You know what, Avneet? I would like to show you something that you can invest in. If you have not yet already found it, I think you already know about this. But let me show you this watch list of mine, which is called Canadian Hedged. So these are all US depository receipts. And apart from Ryokan, I don't think there is any other than the 5 big banks. But they are all the steady staple. But if you want to invest in a hedged manner in the US market through your Canadian side, whether on RRSP or TFSA, you can look at Walmart, Salesforce, PayPal, Amazon, Tesla, Costco, Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, and this is all being bought to us by CIBC, and they're adding more companies every month. So you should look at that. I have got a good portfolio out here on the Canadian side also, so that it can match my US side in terms of the range of options that we have. Of course, Ryokan continues to be my favorite because it has got a lot of potential to grow further. So that's what I have here. Yeah, so that's what we have, Avneet. And yeah, let me go back to the TradingView platform and look quickly at the indices. So if you look at let's do the futures first. Let us see what's happening in the futures. Futures are up 4.252% for NASDAQ. This is amazing. And also, if you look at XLY by XLP, we are absolutely risk on, and it's going 3.26%. So we are totally risk on. Somebody has had tiger juice. So the market is going absolutely gangbusters. Look at the semiconductor side. Based on the semiconductors news from the US, passing off the bill, we have got AMD up 6.02%, Nvidia up 8.14%, Intel up 3.45%, IBM up 0.87%, ASML, which will get a bulk of orders, is up 4.58%. Oh, this is really great news. Did we think about this a couple of days ago? This was looking impossible, but the impossible has happened. Now, next, I want to also look at the automobile sector and look at Tesla. It's up 6.46%. After that, its result, it went up, and then it came down steadily. It fell below the 200-day exponential moving average. Now it has recaptured that. So this is all positive, and we are still far away from being overbought. So there is plenty of room for Tesla to run up further. So that's really good news. Even GM, after its lackluster performance on the EV side, has got 4.23% gain out here. They still have those SUVs that they need to assemble and send off due to supply chain shortages. So their next quarter is when the revenue will come, but still they are getting rewarded as much as we are seeing Tesla rewarded. It's just 2 percentage points below. So I think Tesla should be doing way better than what it is doing, considering they are the market leaders for EV, given that GM has got one leg in the ICE engine and the other on the EV, where the EV is still deficient. And Toyota also has jumped up a little bit. Of course, they have just got the hybrid section out there. Apart from this, I just want to have a quick look at crypto. Crypto is, Coinbase has jumped 11%. So there is some life breathed into Coinbase. And you see this pattern out here, my friends, the red candle and the green candle. In the Japanese candlestick pattern, this is typical for a bullish setup. So hopefully if the market closes the way it is right now, then we should look at a bullish move out of this diagonals that we are seeing here, the pennant that we are seeing here. So according to the technical analysis, this pennant is supposed to break downwards. But we have seen that in case of Tesla, we were into a bearish pennant, but we still broke on the upside because the actual news in the market was positive. So something similar could happen here, and Coinbase can go further up. Then we look at Bitcoin. It has gained 8.66%. So I think, Jesse, you lost your opportunity to buy Bitcoin at 19,000. It seems that it can't go below 20,000. So maybe you should probably look at buying it at 20,000. I'm still looking for 16,000 and 12,000, but it doesn't seem that that's going to happen. But I don't mind not buying any Bitcoin because I have plenty of Bitcoin, Algo, Solana, and Dogecoin in my wallet. I don't want to put any more money there. I would just wait for these to go up. So that's my position out there. And let us go to the commodities side and see the action out there. So wheat has again dropped down and become flat. So it's been arrested by the 100-day exponential moving average. So I'm happy about that. If you look at copper, copper is going up. I think this is a good sign that copper is going up. That means the economy is still resilient and manufacturing is still taking place, which means employments will be in place. So I suppose that the majority of the inflation was spurred by the oil price increase. And if the oil price goes down, that should take out a whole lot of through costs that go in, even in terms of freight. The freight costs have also gone down. So all of those things are going to reflect along with the strong US dollars that we had earlier to bring the price down and bring the inflation down. And I think the Fed is in track with that. So in light of that, I think copper going up is pretty good. US oil going up is not at all good. It's not cool. I just hope that this diagonal line of resistance still holds for us and we come down again. MACD, as you can see, is very anemic at this point of time. Momentum is also below average. In the morning, I thought it should go down. I did not expect it to go up 2.88%. So something in my calculations is wrong. It's continuing to go up. And if the continued strength is there, I think tomorrow we'll open it somewhere around 98 and then touch this diagonal line of resistance at around $100. And I hope 100 becomes a psychological limit at which it bounces back down. So that's what I'm hoping for, because the momentum is not there. So I don't know why it's still going up. Gold is marginally up 1% and silver is up. Silver being an industrial metal, I think it's good that silver is going up and it's coming back to life. Let us look at gold. Gold is also coming back into life. So nice out there. And then I want to go back and look at the established technology companies and see. Oh, sorry, not the established. I want to go to the new technology companies. Okay, this is where these were my stomping grounds earlier to make a quick buck. So Marathon has recovered smartly, 22%. That's really heartening because I burnt my fingers on Marathon. I did dollar cost averaging. Even then, it's on negative. Pinterest has gained 11, Coinbase 10. Of course, we have seen that. Upstart up 9.62%. Lightspeed up 7.93. DraftKings 7.77. And then Pubmatic up 6.32. Palantir, of course, Palantir. Lot of equity dilution out there, so I've stopped following Palantir at all. But Palantir is on a bull channel, as you can see here, so it looks good. Fiverr is on a consolidation spree. Again, it has formed, this is a bullish harami according to Japanese candlesticks, so we should see a move upwards if it ends this way today. SoFi up 4.82%. Etsy opened higher but has been dropping down, but has gained 2.29 today so far. Baba is looking okay. DWSC, that's my morbid fascination. It's still struggling and it's survived. I think it should not be worth even $30. I don't know what it has got in it to command that kind of valuation. Teradyne is down minus 0.09. It opened high, but it fell down significantly. There must be some news out there. The news is that Teradyne posts lower Q2 results from year ago. Sets Q3 guidance, stock down 3% after hours. So that's what happened out there. Okay. That's what we have. We opened lower and we recovered quite a bit. I think the same effect that has happened for Microsoft and Google is working out here. But the drop after the earnings had been much more severe. So it's just about, I think tomorrow it will be able to recover most of the losses it had before, because I think we are looking at some kind of a bullish channel out here. Let's go to the indicators and look at QQQ and see what we have got there. Yeah, we are still on a bullish channel out here. We have broken through this resistance here at 306.53. Let me look at what our community is talking about. NVIDIA calls. Your shares of Enron are not moving. I don't know, my friend. I have not checked Enron. I'll look at it soon because we got 6 minutes to go before the market close. So I'll make it a point to check out Enron and give you some points that I can think of. I have not been following Enron, to be honest. Bitcoin support, yeah, it stayed above 19K in the last round also. My charts show that we could potentially go up to 16 and 12K if there is weakness. Right now, Bitcoin is moving lock stock with our NASDAQ. So that's what is happening. That's what is giving the strength out there. Yeah, that's like a gorilla. Arc bot snap. Oh, when it fell, yeah. Kathy Woods has got real guts. She can pick up things when they fall also, and she can sell stuff like Tesla when it's on the top. She's dynamic. PayPal up 12%. Wow, that is great, man. I have holdings on PayPal. I have been crying about it. Oh, it'll be in my financial sector. Where is my banking sector? Yeah, PayPal. Wow. Wow. This is amazing. Any news? PayPal holdings could accelerate restructuring, unlock value through Elliott Management, Wedbush says. Oh, great. PayPal holdings could accelerate restructuring and unlock value with the help of Elliott Management. Wedbush said Wednesday following media reports on the activist investor holding a stake in the company. The investment firm maintained the digital payment company's outperform rating of 110 price target. While Elliott has been known to urge management teams to return more capital to shareholders, we believe choosing a more patient, longer-term path of unlocking value will yield significantly better results, said Wedbush analyst Moshe Khatri. That could be the reason for the optimism, along with the effect of Google and Microsoft and the Fed. So I'm really happy about this. It's going up. There's plenty of upward movement available because we are still away from the overbought status, and the price target is $110. So we are still at 86.41. So I look forward to that. That looks great. Let me go back to my homies and see what they are saying. Easy to be dynamic when playing with other people. That is true, Avneet. And another advantage for ARK Invest is that they are an ETF. If they were a mutual fund, there would be a run on them and they would have to sell all the holdings. But because they are ETF, the loss is being borne by the ETF holder on a dynamic basis, so they can afford to take those kind of approach. But a mutual fund cannot do that. That's another advantage. Yeah. So guys, it's almost 2 minutes to go. So I'm going to quickly look at our indices and futures and get started with that sequence, the sequence that we usually follow. So I think I'll start with the indices first, looking at the futures, because by the time I'm done with the futures, the market would have closed. And yeah, so here we go. Let me take away all these exponential moving averages. And let me draw one more line out here. Line of resistance, and bring it down slightly out here. So we have the next resistance at 12,859, and we have this diagonal line of support, which is going to go all the way out here. And so we have support, and we are still on the bullish channel as far as the Nasdaq futures is concerned. There is plenty of runway before overbought. So all the indicators are saying Nasdaq futures are looking very, very strong. And this is the only resistance that we are going to have next at 12,884. With that said, I'm just going to go into our indicators. Let us look at US oil. US oil is holding on to this support. See, this line of support at 95.08 has been so bloody strong that it has been bouncing off here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it has bounced off 9 times from here. So there is a whole lot of buyers sitting out there. So whenever the price comes there, they're buying and pushing it up. So I hope there is some kind of a capitulation out there before we come to the end of this pennant, because otherwise we are likely to fall down further, in my opinion. And our MACD is still looking weak out here, even though it is turning bullish because the momentum is below average. So I still hold out the opinion that it can fall down further. QQQ has gone up 4.23% today, and post-market it's already down minus 0.15%. So if you can see, I have another line of support here. We have broken above that, and we had another line of resistance out here at 306.53. We are just settled just below that, and post-market we are below that. So I think tomorrow our challenge would be to go above this, open up above that, and continue moving towards this diagonal line of resistance. If I was to zoom it out for you, this was our original bear channel in which we were. And in the past, in the bear channel, we always had bull runs. We had the best bull run out here somewhere between 15th March and 31st March. And then we kept on falling. It was a huge fall. And then again on 23rd March, we had a minor bull run all the way up to 2nd of June. And then we came down, we consolidated a bit. And now I consider this to be another bull run in a bear market. So until we break out of this diagonal red line out here, I wouldn't consider that we are in a bull market. I'm just going to extend this diagonal support line in anticipation, and we'll make a verdict then. MACD is absolutely bullish. No worries out there, no complaints out there. Let me expand the size of the screen so those of you who are on smaller devices can see properly. So our MACD is still bullish and moving away from the signal line, and our momentum is also above average and keeping on moving up. So that looks good. However, post-market action is negative. Maybe some people are taking profits and just taking money off the table, being a bit conservative. S&P 500 has done excellent. Again, it has stopped clinically at this 401.19 horizontal line of resistance. It pierced there. There were sellers. It pushed it down again. So S&P 500 ends at 401.01, and post-market it has lost 60 cents. So that said, let us go on and look at IWM. So IWM has done well today. It's gone up 2.25%. And here again, I can show you another line of resistance out here. So this is a line of resistance that we have, which has worked for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times today, as of today. So it's a strong line of resistance, and it's sitting at 183.72. So we have to challenge that tomorrow. And yes, we will do challenge that because MACD is bullish and also momentum is upwards, above average and moving up. Post-market, it is lost marginally 3 cents or something to that extent. And then we have Dow Jones, it's up 1.38%. Again, we have the same kind of setup out here, but I think Dow Jones is much more resilient and it has fallen much less than the others. And it's still on a bull channel out here. So overall, it is looking good. The MACD is also very bullish. Momentum has also got plenty of runway, being above average to go towards overbought. So I think Dow Jones is also looking good, even though marginally it has dropped post-market. The VIX has tended to come down again. So there seems to be a band in which we are moving for the VIX. I'm going to mark this as a resistance at 24.28, and the support is at 27.23. The trick for us for better markets and more bullishness is for us to break below 22.73, and hopefully it happens tomorrow, because MACD is still bearish and momentum is still below average and pointed down. So with that said, let us go to PCC. And if you look at the PCC, it shows that we are at 1.02, which means that we are neutral to bearish, and that is reasonable to expect because there has been so much of quick gains today. There's going to be the nagging fear in many people's mind that maybe I should book the profit before things go down. So that profit booking sentiment will bring us down a little bit before allowing us to move up further. So that's how I would read that. We have been totally risk on today. XLY by XLP shows 3.10. US dollar index is beautiful. It's come down. This is really, really good for us because all those international revenues for these companies will start looking good. So that said, I have come to an end of the indicators. I want to quickly have a look at the chat. Yes, Teledoc went out, went up. Yeah, Avneet, you have to pat yourself for every day that you're out, because my portfolio is deeply negative. Just one or two things were good. Ryokan was positive, and I have some positive going on with FNGU. And for a short while, my SQZ Technologies was positive, but you know, it didn't do well. All my crypto are red. So I think I admire guys like you who have got positives. Teledoc now falling 9%. Yeah, don't worry about that. All good times will come later. These are all long-term investments, so don't let it bother you at this point of time. Do you hold Teledoc Inf? Okay, let me go back to my analysis. Let me go back to genomics. I'm going to sort to make sure that we have the winners at the very top. The winner today is Teledoc at 7.59, and after hours it has dropped 12.65%. Let me see if there is any news out here. July 27. So we had our earnings today. So earnings is what has pushed the price down. And let us see what it says. Earnings reactions history. Teledoc Health Inc. 50% follow through indicator, 10.5% sensitive. Expected earnings release after hours. Volume 66, etc., etc. Teledoc is due to issue its quarterly earnings report. Given its history, traders can expect very active trading in the issue immediately following its quarterly earnings announcement. Historical earnings event related pre-market and after hours trading activity in Teledoc indicates that the price change in the extended hours is likely to be of limited value in forecasting additional for price movement by following the regular session close. Last 12 quarters, positive only price reaction, percentage of time added to extended hour gain 66. Over the period 3 fiscal years, 12 quarters, when shares of Teledoc rose in the extended hour session in reaction to its earnings announcements, history shows 66.7% of the time the stock posted additional gains in the following regular session by an average of 7.1%. Last 12 quarters, negative only price reaction, percentage of time added to extended hours losses 44.4%. Average next regular session additional loss 4.6%. So it's not looking good for Teledoc. So we should expect tomorrow also there should be a drop of around 4% after this. But I'm thinking tomorrow Teledoc will regain some of this because it could be a knee-jerk reaction. I have not yet read the Teledoc results. I'll do that after the earnings. After the live stream is over. So I'll assume that there's a bit of overreaction out there based on what happened for Google and Microsoft. So that's what I think about it. DNA is up. That's pretty good. And let us see if there is any news for DNA. There is no new news for DNA that should push it up. Beam is up 5.72%. Post-market, it's still up it's a flat post-market. And you can see here the support, which was at 65.12, handily held it. Yesterday, this was a resistance. Today, we opened higher above that and we went further up. So this is looking good for Beam. And also our MACD is bullish, but the overbought status has been an inhibiting factor. So that could tend us to be just above this support line of 65.12 tomorrow and day after until we cool off a little bit so that we have more room to go up further. PACB up 5.15%, post-market no trades, and it's gone above this minor line of resistance. So I'm going to convert this into a support. MACD is still bearish and momentum is still below average. So I'm really happy that we got this positive that we got today. I was not expecting this, but let's hope that it holds on. And tomorrow we open above this minor line of support that we have, which is at around 4.48. So that said, I think Jesse should be a bit happy about this. Invite is up 5.15% today. Post-market down minus 1.96%. Still unable to crack the resistance, which is at around 2.15. The MACD is also bearish, so it's not looking great on the charts. Caribou Biosciences is still looking good on the charts. MACD is absolutely bullish. Momentum is also above average and picking up further. Plenty of room to be overbought, and it's flat after market. And today it gained 5% and it's stopped shy of our resistance at 8.25. I'm expecting that resistance to be cleared tomorrow. And we look at Illumina. Illumina is up 3.95%. and it still stays above this minor line of support, which we have somewhere around 196.80. Post-market no trades as such. And if I was to reintroduce our exponential moving average, you can see that we have support from the 9-day and the 20-day exponential moving average. And the next resistance is the 50-day exponential moving average sitting at 215.68. ARCG is up 3.82% today, but post-market it's marginally down, and it has stayed above this support line, which is sitting at around 36.91. Post-market we are at 37.70. So this is going to continue to hold. The 9-day exponential moving average is also giving it a support. This was a very strong support, so we opened above that, momentarily dipped, and then went up again. So in my books, this is looking good. And I think the ARCG chart is looking good, except for the fact that MACD has become bearish. But I'm happy that the momentum is still pointing upward and it's above average. So I still feel that ARCG is going to continue with this bullish line of support that we have here. It's still on a good bull channel in my opinion. Editas is up 3.65%, being supported by the 9-day and the 100-day exponential moving average, and also by the diagonal line of support, doing extremely well. MACD is getting a bit weaker, but the momentum is very strong. So I'm happy about this. I think it's continuing to go further up. And post-market, there are no trades out here. Verve is up 3.65% after 3 days of drops, and it's still struggling to break through our resistance out here. The resistance at 29.72. So we look forward to that breaking. And I'm looking at the MACD, which is bullish, but becoming a bit weaker. But the momentum, which was overbought, has cooled off a little bit, and now we have plenty of runway back again to being overbought. So I'm expecting us to break through this line of resistance tomorrow. Post-market, we are down 1.56% already, but I think tomorrow we'll have positive sentiments. Intelia is up 3.34%, still tracking the diagonal line of support, down minus 0.61%. Post-market action, 9-day exponential moving average is our first line of support. MACD has just about turned bearish. Momentum is still above average and pointed upwards. So I think it's just the earning jitters that we are seeing out here. So I've already put out the Intelia earnings estimate. If you have not seen the video, please look at it. And if you like, in your free time, we have got Allogene coming up next with a gain of 3.32%, flat post market, still supported by the 9-day and the 200-day exponential moving average. Strong chart out here. MACD is still bullish. Momentum also got plenty of runway. Very bullish about Allogene. SQZ Biotech up 7 cents today, up 2.45%. Post-market still flat. And it's got this new resistance to reckon with, along with the 9-day exponential moving average. Very, very weak chart for SQZ Biotech. Really depressed with that. CRISPR Therapeutics up 2.35%. And it's ended the day at 78.93. Post-market is flat. And I still think that we are going to be breaking through this diagonal line of resistance as well as the horizontal line of resistance tomorrow, because it's a bullish channel. And however, the only concern I have is the bearish MACD. But because the momentum is above average and picking up, I think we are going to beat it. So that's what I'm going with for CRISPR Therapeutics. And then I'm going to come back to look at IDNA. IDNA is 1.79% up. And it's trying to negotiate this diagonal line of resistance. It's on a bullish pennant out here. As I told you before, technical analysis says that bullish pennants will break upwards because they're on a bullish trend which is moving upwards. So I still hold on to that, but the MACD is giving me a pause, whereas the momentum is saying that everything is good, ready to go. So tomorrow I would look at us to open somewhere close to where we closed, and then move upwards from there and break through this pennant. And there are no post-market trades at this point of time. Bluebird is up 1.56%, and I'm really glad that it has managed to jump above this minor line of resistance, which it has converted into a support right now. But it's a bearish hammer out here. So tomorrow we'll have to see what happens, because MACD is also weak, but the momentum has just about cracked average and it's trying to go up. So that heartens me. Post-market also we are up 0.22%. So that gives me some hope. I have just about finished compiling and uploading the Bluebird earnings estimate. I'm going to activate it after this live session is over. So you could go and have a look at it and see what you think about it. And please post your comments, because these are the second set of earnings that we are doing. I did a set of earnings for Q1, but I have improved a more in-depth approach as compared to Q1 in my videos now. So please look at it and give me your feedback and any suggestions that you can. That I would welcome very much. So there is the earnings coming up. There will be a bit of jitters out here, but we'll see what happens. Regeneron, I'm not going to talk about Regeneron. IMTX is up 0.8%, still on a very, very steep bullish channels. I'm expecting some consolidation because it's in an overbought state. It shouldn't stay there for too long. So I expect some consolidation, some bit of giving and moving sideways until it comes to this diagonal line of support, the bull line of support. So I'm happy with where IMTX is right now. It's looking way too bullish. Novartis, I'm going to let go. Vertex, I'm going to let go. Pfizer, I'm going to let go because these are all established companies and we are talking about more of non-revenue generating genomic companies which are still pre-revenue stage. So with that said, I'd like to go and have a look at what our audience is saying. Yes, interesting times. Infosys, I used to work at Canada's Wonderland when I was a teenager. I like roller coasters. So that's the stock market for adults. Yeah, enjoy. And Avneet says, damn man, that made me think about things quite interesting. Yeah. We are living in interesting times, as Avneet says. Yeah. I think we will have all this for, history when we are older and when there are younger people there. And when you're talking to them, you can recount all our experience living through this roller coaster. Very, very unusual times. We have never had two pandemics, one after the other. Like the monkeypox is almost on the verge of being called a pandemic because WHO already gave us warning 2 days ago. So we are in interesting times. Yeah. The market is fickle. It's composed of people like us. Many people have got their bread and butter stuck in there. They don't want to lose it. So it's like a deer in the forest, a little bit of noise here and there, the deer runs away, right? It's just like that. Many investors are skittish and they take the money out. That's how it works. So with that said, I think I would like to bring this session to an end unless you guys have any questions. If you have any questions, I would be really, really happy to answer them. What about editors? Yeah, I think I have done. I'm working on a video on editors for its Q2 earnings. So that'll be a special on editors coming up. And let me look at editors right now and see if I can answer some questions for you. Editors. I think editors is looking pretty strong on the charts, my friend. Do you have a specific question? Do you have a specific question in mind? Yeah, it's a crypto winter, Jesse. We may see a bit of green when NASDAQ is green. But I would also say that if NASDAQ decides to go green for a short period of time, what would happen is crypto will mimic that. We also have some regulations coming up in which they are saying that everything except Bitcoin is a security and they're going to regulate securities. So we'll see what happens because of that. And there could be a divergence where NASDAQ might continue keeping going up and we can't say the same for crypto. It may or may not go up. The correlation may start to become weaker. That's my opinion based on whatever I understand. And Venkat, you are saying from a long-term view, I think from a long-term view, Editas is looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. What I'm going to do is publish the video for Q2 shortly. Today, I'm going to release the Q2 video for earnings of which company was that? Let me see which earnings I made for today. Just give me 1 second. Let me look at my channel here. Let me just quickly have a look at my channel. I'll tell you what I have uploaded today. I have uploaded the earnings for Bluebird today. So tomorrow, I'm going to be working on a few more companies. I'll try and bring out Editas video for you. Have a look at it. And if it doesn't answer all your questions, because I'll be very comprehensive in that, if it doesn't answer all your questions for the long term, feel free to get back to me with specific questions, and I'll definitely try to answer those. So that's what I would say out there. Long term, at this point of time, it looks like it's at a good price to be invested for long term. This is not financial advice. This is my personal opinion. Remember, Venkat, I'm also a regular investor like you guys. The only difference is I have a YouTube channel and I'm talking to you, and I'm sharing all my thoughts transparently. That doesn't mean that I'm an expert. Many times, technical analysis does not pan out the way it is supposed to. Like, for example, Tesla, the technical analysis showed that it was going to break down, but I had mentioned to the group that if Tesla posts a good earning, then it's going to go up. So it went up, it defied the technical analysis out there. So those things happen. And at the end of the day, as a retail investor, I do not have the luxury of calling up a company and asking the investment department to give me information on something or the other. They won't take my calls, right? So I'm just like you. But I'm putting more time on this dedicated. So I have a little bit extra information. So that's how you should take it, okay? So be careful when you invest your money. I would always say a balanced portfolio is better, and do not put all the money into one sector or one share. And also when you're buying really risky stocks like Genomics, which are pre-revenue stocks, it's a better policy to be dollar cost averaging. So you need a really good brokerage that allows you to do that, where the commissions are not that high. So that's what I would like to tell you, Venkat. And then what else do we have here? So that's about it. That's what we got. Jesse, anything from your side? You have any questions or anything? Or maybe I could wind this session for now, because I think we have covered all the bases that we wanted to. So ARC Genomic front. Yeah, I have ARC-G. I'm holding on to ARC-G. My ARC-G is negative. I think I believe in what Kathy Woods is saying, and I had put up a video in between when I had a little bit of doubts, because I started watching Peter Zeihan, and what Peter Zeihan is saying is very different from what ARC-G is talking about. But one thing I feel is that if countries become small blocks and become inward looking and internalize all the manufacturing process and everything, they are going to have labor shortage. And automation has to come in out there. So from that point of view, what's going to happen is that the inflationary pressures will all get diluted due to automation, and goods and everything is going to become much cheaper. People's standard of living is likely to go up. And when that happens, genomics will also benefit along with that. And many of these genomic companies will have a really good value for their titles, because then if they are dealing with the other countries outside the bloc, then they will get really good deals for that, for licensing their know-how. So that's the way I look at it. So I think ARC-G is definitely going to do well. And I think the ARK Invest, I still believe the ARK Invest thesis is probably on the right track. And we have seen that when Walmart said they had too much of inventory and they had to do sales in order to reduce the inventory. That's exactly what Kathy Wood had predicted, that there is going to be a backlog and people are ordering from multiple places, and the orders, when they reach, become obsolete and they have to be sold in fire sale. So all those things make me feel that. I don't know what the other people are thinking about. Any of you think that you're now contrary to Kathy Woods? Are you like-minded, or are you thinking otherwise? Just going to wait a minute for your reply, and then I'm going to wind out this session. And let me see. Okay, so I think I will, depends on the interest rate and the economical and sentiment, to be honest. Yeah, that's always underpinning that. You like Kathy less than others here. Yeah, it's always good to have a contrary opinion in the group, because if everybody is in the same direction, we may lose out a lot of key points and perspectives. So dissent is always good. My generic genomic portfolio is 10%. That's good, Venkat. It's good to have that kind. I also think exposure to EVs, batteries, robotics, those also would be good. ARC-K also is, for that matter, a potential addition out there. Personally, I'll be honest. Before I started this channel and before I got all the genomics guys together, I was more into the likes of Marathon, Tesla, and Fiverr, Shopify, Google, Alphabet, and all those companies. But as I started discovering more and more about genomics, my focus has been more siloed into genomics. But I don't regret it. It's been really good, very interesting, and we have this community where we share all the information. So that's good. Yeah, it will take time for her predictions to come true. But after listening to Peter Zahan, I try to revalidate what Kathy Woods is saying. So, for example, Peter Zahan says that EV transportation would work where the terrain is, mountainous, and he was thinking it would work well in Mexico. But we are already seeing Amazon deploying EVs to deliver its materials. So there are, I mean, nobody can be perfect, whether it is Peter Zahan or whether it is Kathy Woods. We have to pick and choose from both the places, whatever our logic says seems plausible, and then aggregate that and come up with our own opinions, I believe. So guys, I think that's about it. Shopify is doing better today. So we let us end on a happy note before everything goes wonky. So thanks guys for joining. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. If you can come back again tomorrow, you're most welcome. And please don't forget to see my Q2 earnings preview for Bluebird. Bye for now.